After boldly going idle on the first day of free agency, the Indiana Pacers finally moved the needle and made two big moves recently, trading Malcolm Brogdon to the Celtics and surprisingly managing to re-sign Jalen Smith to a 2-year deal. As things currently shape up, the Pacers have a whopping 16 players under contract, and that's in large part due to the Brogdon trade, which saw them acquire a staggering 6 players. Even so, Indiana is definitely expected to trim the fat substantially to make more room for potential moves later on, heading into the season. So in today's video, I'm going to give you 4 remaining free agents that the Indiana Pacers need to go after immediately. At number 1, I've got Eric Paschall. He could be a great low-risk frontcourt project for the Indiana Pacers. Now, after re-signing Jalen Smith was a massive talent retention purposes in the advent of a full-on rebuild. Right now, the Pacers only have 3 playable big men on their roster, and one of those being Miles Turner, who continuously finds himself on the perpetual rumor mill, like it's a tradition. Paschall, he's not only being added for depth reasons, but also to satisfy a rebuilding back need. The retooling Utah Jazz didn't tender a qualifying offer to Paschall. I would describe Paschall as an undersized, proficient burly build that spawns mismatches all day, and he punishes the smaller defenders while he does it. He's more popular for his stint with the Warriors, where he was a forceful interior scorer who can hit threes occasionally, but shoots at an efficient clip. He does have a lack of size for his position, which essentially makes him a below average rebounder, but he should nonetheless be a relatively harmless get for the Pacers. Let's look at number 2. At number 2, the Pacers could really benefit from Jordan Nwawa's offensive malleability. And despite their draft additions, the Pacers remain without a true small forward on their roster. As currently constructed, they will have to compensate by playing some of their players out of position to man that spot next season. Moving Benedict Mathurin or Chris Duarte to the 3 ensures that the Pacers field their best talents on the floor, but putting a full-time reliance on both those players is going to put them at bigger risk of injury, especially against bigger wings. The free agent market right now is a bereft of many players who can mitigate this issue, but Jordan Nwawa could deserve a shot in this regard. The Milwaukee Bucks did extend him a qualifying offer, but they may not be willing to hold on to the same project for the 3rd consecutive year. Hence, Indiana should pounce on this opportunity and zoom in on Nwawa's good size and athleticism. His offensive upside is there, I promise you. And despite his reliance on volume to score instead of efficiency, his defense needs a lot of work. But listen, this team is rebuilding, and they're allowed to take in vulnerable pieces to develop that roster. A guy that could be the ideal Buddy Hield replacement for the Indiana Pacers would be Caleb Martin, and that's who I have at number 3. The Pacers trading away Malcolm Brogdon could be interpreted as a prelude as to how they stand regarding the remaining veterans on the team. Thus, Buddy Hield, who the team acquired with Tyrese Haliburton at the deadline last season, but could also be on the move very, very soon. And if that's the case, the Pacers have to replace his 3-point marksmanship, which is going to be super crucial for giving them more leeway for the likes of Haliburton, Duarte, and Mathurin to operate. Fortunately enough, Caleb Martin remains unsigned in free agency, which is a bit surprising given his semi-breakout year for the Miami Heat in the recently concluded season. Martin, he's coming off a great 2021 season, which saw his register career highs in shooting splits, draining 50.7% of his shots, including 41.3% of his threes. The Pacers could make great use of his efficient scoring. Coming in at number 4, the Pacers, they should go out and get TJ Warren. I know, it's surprising, he's still available in the free agent market, and the Pacers should be considered as the favorites for Warren. In fact, some outlets have pointed to the team fielding a short-term deal for him after missing nearly 2 full seasons due to injury. Rebuild notwithstanding, the Pacers will benefit tremendously from presumptually getting a healthy Warren back, and one of the best players for them in the last year that qualified for the playoffs. He remains their best combo forward if he re-ups with the blue and gold. Sure, I get it. Taking him for a second go-around, considering his health issues, is quite the gamble, but doing so doesn't really carry when it's normally high risk and entails. If things don't work out and the talented scorer proves to be more detrimental for the team in both the short and long term, the Pacers, they can always make him available for trade, and the market for a relatively cheap scorer with some defensive acuity will always be robust. So that leads me to today's question. Which one of these free agents would you like to see in that 15th and final spot? In my opinion, I would 100% take Caleb Martin. He would be the ideal replacement for Buddy Hield if in fact the Pacers decide to deal him. With Martin's efficient scoring, he could in fact lift the Pacers greatly on the offensive side of the ball. So let me know in the comment section what you guys think. And if you guys like this video, go ahead and smash that like button and subscribe to the channel because it helps the algorithm, which in turn helps me make better content for you guys. And I appreciate all you guys' love and support. And until then, like always, I'll save you all a seat. Peace.